Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in because today we have a very special guest. You guys are so lucky to be hearing from Naomi Brockwell. For my experience in crypto is kind of bipolar, where it's like I'm so inspired by what's being built, and then I'm like kind of met with maybe it's just I'm spending too much time in the comments of my videos or something, but it's like there's a lot of people who are literally begging for regulation. They think that crypto has gone far enough and scams abound and regulations are going to save us. And then we find out that Wells Fargo has been defrauding their customers for billions of dollars, and they just get hit with a $3.7 billion fine. And they're regulated. And in 2008, the credit rating agencies, the banks involved, they were all regulated. So I don't know where this imagination of regulation is going to like save you from a scam, but I think it's really more evidence of like people just want to outsource their critical thought, and they want someone just to put their stamp of approval and guarantee that they're not going to get scammed. And but really it's like it's just like any kind of a healthy lifestyle. It has to be consistent, and you have to practice it and it's going to become your way of life rather than any kind of a shortcut. So I
think people need to realize that with crypto the advent of crypto literally was to create a separate system. It was to get away from this traditional financial system. And now so many people, as you said, are clamoring for, well, let's regulate it into this system. Let's integrate it further so we can control it and save people. And they don't realize that the whole reason crypto was invented, it was on the back of the 2008 TARP bailouts, right? It was on the back of the housing crash when you just had such corruption. And again, money supply just inflated to infinity, people losing purchasing power. And where's the money going? It's going into the coffers of well-connected people, into whether it's businesses or politicians. And suddenly people are like, okay, I don't want there to be a second bailout for the banks, right? I would rather my money be in my control and no one to be able to devalue it by just printing a whole bunch more of it and giving out to special interests. It was the whole point of Bitcoin was like an alternative to that system. And I think that's a difficult concept for people to come to terms with. They're not used to something being outside of, control. But if you think about why people want government control, well, they don't want it to be defrauded. They don't want all this opaqueness. They want there to be some rules in place so that they know that behind the scenes, people aren't doing shady things. Like, I understand that. And what they don't realize is that crypto solves this without the regulation by having a transparent financial system where you can actually see proof of funds, where you can actually see that this smart contract you put your money into, you can analyze the code, you can audit the code, you can see that there are reserves there. That saves us from having to trust these so-called regulated institutions that are defrauding people all the time. This is an alternative system that can save people, and it's a huge paradigm shift. So I think it's going to take people a long time to kind of realize that, we can trust math instead of trusting people and fallible politicians and corrupt politicians and corrupt businesses. Like we don't need to rely on that anymore. We have better tools, and technology has provided those tools. So it's exciting.
Absolutely. And that's what we should keep focusing on. We got to remind ourselves this every time we get smothered by the regulation cheerleaders. Code regulates itself. I mean, we saw that with True DeFi functioned perfectly during all the bear market and the failings of all the CeFi platforms. Okay.